Now at 9, action in question. Could affirmative action be the next polarizing decision for the Supreme Court? And how could this affect our campus here at UNLV?
And heating up, why Nevada might just be the most watched state on Election Day next week.
And we have Lady Rebels Associate Head Coach Roman Owen in studio. See what he thinks about the season ahead here on Studio G.
Now, news that matters to you on campus and beyond. Live. You're watching Studio G.
Studio G. My name is Christopher Clark.
And I'm Hector Solomon. We've got a lot to get to today. Let's get right to it.
A local judge has set an official trial date for former public administrator Robert Tellis. The trial date is set for April 17th of the next year. Tellis is accused of killing Las Vegas Review journalist Jeff Gehrman back in September. The trial could be delayed pending a Nevada Supreme Court ruling regarding access to Gehrman's electronic devices. For the time being, Tellis remains in the Clark County Detention Center without bail.
And increasing inflation is hitting local charities here in the Valley. With rising food costs, Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada are facing difficulty trying to serve vulnerable populations. The charities are in need of local food donations. To donate, visit the Catholic Charities website.
And a new hotel will be setting up shop on the Las Vegas Strip. The property will be on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Harmon Avenue. It will have more than 2,000 rooms, a wedding chapel, and convention facilities. A timeline for the construction has yet to be announced.
And the U.S. Supreme Court is considering to end affirmative action in higher education. After hearing several arguments about different university admission cases, there is still no final outcome. With UNLV being the second most diverse campus in the nation, this could affect admissions and enrollment for future students. This is still an ongoing story, and Studio G will bring you the latest as we have it. And now let's head over to Jade with our weather. Jade, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Hector. Today we have a rainy, cold, and cloudy one. We have a high of 57 degrees with a wind speed of 23 miles per hour in the valley. And across the valley, temperatures are very, very low today, and they're going to stay low because the sun is not coming out today. Maybe later, but today we have rain until about 5 p.m. There's going to be scattered showers, but around 6 p.m. it's going to clear up, not necessarily be sunny, but it is going to clear up and just be cloudy. That's all we have for your first weather. Guys, back to you at the desk.
If you live on the east side of the valley, you may want to pick up some earplugs. Aviation Nation is back and will be roaring through the valley. The air show put on by Nellis Air Force Base will take place starting tomorrow. Nellis Air Force Base released a noise advisory for residents living on the east side of Las Vegas. For more information on when you might hear the noise, contact Nellis Air Force Base Public Affairs Office.
And we are in the midst of a battleground with the midterm races being too close to call. Our reporter, Mia Nakamura, gives us an update on the midterms and what you can expect this election.
Nevada is a crucial swing state for the midterm election to determine who will control the U.S. Congress. Incumbent Catherine Cortez Masto is against her Republican challenger Adam Laxalt in a neck-and-neck race. Laxalt was elected as Nevada's 33rd Attorney General and is currently endorsed by former President Donald Trump. Speaking of presidents, Obama came to Nevada a couple days ago on his midterms tour to endorse Masto and other Democratic candidates.
Moping and feeling cynical is not an option. The only way to make this economy fair is if we, all of us, fight for it.
And you can fight in this election by voting.
I appeal to all Americans, regardless of party, to meet this moment of national and generational importance. We must vote.
Nevada residents can either vote in person before November 4th or on Election Day on November 8th. And if you've received your ballot in the mail, you can vote by dropping off your ballot at either your mailbox or a polling location. If you want to know where your nearest polling location or want to know more information on the candidates running, visit votesmartnv.org. Remember to vote in this upcoming election because your voice can determine our future. I'm Mia Nakamura reporting for Studio G.
And New York Senator Cory Booker will be on campus today to get out the early vote, where he will be walking with students to the early voting centers here on campus. Early voting ends tomorrow, and make sure to vote on November the 8th.
And the push for the ban on pet stores continues here in Las Vegas. The Clark County Commission was set to vote on the issue Tuesday, November 1st. Many animal welfare advocates and business supporters spoke out publicly, stating shelters in the valley are overcrowded. The measure was originally proposed back in June with the support of the Animal Foundation, which has recently been under heat following conditions and disease at the shelter. County officials are currently observing the impact the law has taken in California. The public hearing and vote has now been rescheduled for December 6th.
And we're looking live at the Las Vegas sign, where this morning multiple properties will turn teal for tonight's Light the World in Teal event. The 9th annual event is hosted by the Alzheimer's Foundation. Looking for today's outfit, you can show your support for the cause by wearing teal. And World Series history, how the Houston Astros added their names to the record books in Philadelphia last night.
And we have some interesting weather ahead of us. But what else can we expect this weekend?
This is CJ, CEO of CJ's Produce. I'm the muscle, she's the brains.
It works.
My great-grandfather acquired Brantley Estates in the early 1950s. Mama Tia is my grandmother. She was actually the first in the family to get vaccinated. I was afraid. I came up with every excuse. My grandmother got her shot. I saw how strong she was. Why can't I? CJ needs his father to show him how to become a man. So I am fully vaccinated. I have somebody counting on me, so we made the leap.
I'm an actor in an ad that was given 12 seconds to remind you that if you're high, just don't drive. Because if you feel different, you drive different. It's illegal to drive high everywhere anyway.
And now, this is Studio G weather.
Get your clocks ready because daylight saving is happening this weekend. From Saturday overnight to Sunday, we gain an hour. As Nevadans turn their clocks back over the weekend, the future of daylight saving is in question. And we're not sure if it's going to happen next year, but this year for sure it is up for debate. The Sunshine Protection Act was unanimously passed in the Senate. This would make daylight saving time permanent year-round. If the bill becomes law, daylight saving time will become the new permanent standard time in 2023. Daylight saving time ends November 6th at 2 p.m. Now, let's see what else is happening in our forecast. Today, we have a lot of wind and weather going on in the state. We have some extreme weather in places like Utah. They have gotten packed with snow yesterday. And because of that, Vegas is getting a lot of cold wind and rain. But in the mountains, we also are seeing some snowfall. And for our evening planner, we are dropping all the way to 48 degrees. So it is going to be a cold one consistently throughout the day. For your 7-day forecast, we have a rainy day today, but it should clear up as we head into the next week with no rain predicted yet, but temperatures are expected to rise and drop from Monday to Tuesday, heading on to Wednesday. That's all we have for your weather. Guys, back to you at the desk.
The Kirk Kerkorian School of Medicine is helping bring more doctors to the Valley. Our reporter Brianna DeLeon has more on the story.
UNLV's Kirk Kerkorian School of Medicine recently finished the completion of its new $120 million medical education building located in the Las Vegas Medical District. It will be the medical school's first permanent state-of-the-art building modernized to support advancements in medical education.
So the new building is a building designed for modern medical school education. So back when I was a medical student in the 80s, we had large classes, and class sizes were about 130, but we all sat in the same room. Students don't do that anymore. We really don't have very much lecture in the curriculum. Rather, students problem solve in smaller groups. So all in all, the building really allows for a modern medical school curriculum. It's really pretty exciting.
The new building will also allow for more students and increasing its class sizes. The result will be more medical graduates, which can help address the doctor shortage currently in Nevada.
We really need more doctors here in the Valley. The new building will allow us to have a larger class size. Now, we need approval from our accrediting agency to increase beyond a certain point, but hopefully we'll be able to graduate more docs. The other thing that the building's going to allow is it's going to allow for continuing medical education experiences for practicing doctors in the community. Having the facility for anatomy will allow for some surgical, continuing medical education, and others. So hopefully it will be a resource for the community as well as our students.
However, it doesn't just end there. Dr. Dean Kahn states that the next step for the medical school is currently underway.
The next step is we really need a clinical facility where we can practice and take care of people's both mental and physical health in one setting. And we have some state and city funding for that. And we're already started a planning process. We also have some state and city funding for a really high-level lab to do testing, as well as to provide a space for basic science research. So 2 more buildings are in the works, and again, we continue to grow to care for our community.
Currently, events and tours are being planned to showcase the new medical building. Classes are expected to begin taking place and occupying the education building by early November. I'm Brianna De Leon reporting for Studio G.
Thank you so much for that, Brianna. And UNLV is receiving $4 million in grants to expand mental health services. UNLV Practice will be offering coordinated specialist care to youth and young adults to help provide more mental health services in the Valley. The programs operate at UNLV Practice's new satellite location. For more information, visit the UNLV Practice website.
A team of bright minds from UNLV's robotics team is one of the global finalists up for a $10 million prize this weekend. Their robot acts as a controllable extension of the person operating it, fully capable of seeing, hearing, moving, talking, and feeling the competition. The competition seeks to advance the tech that will one day allow a physical presence anywhere on the planet, helping fields like medicine or helping with disaster relief efforts. This project took them 4 years to complete, and they were selected out of only 20 teams out of 11 countries.
Wow, and from never seen before in robotics to never seen before in sports. A look at sports last night. The World Series continued in Philadelphia, and this was a pivotal game for the Astros. Houston came into this one getting shut out the previous night and giving up 5 home runs, but in this one they came back swinging. Starting in the 5th inning, Alex Bregman, he provides the biggest boost of offense on the night with this 2-run RBI double that put the Stros up 3-0, and Houston would score 2 more from there, taking a 5-0 lead and making history along the way, serving up the second ever no-hitter in World Series history. And NASCAR decides their champions this weekend, just a few hours away in Phoenix. Las Vegas native Noah Gragson will be racing for the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship Saturday afternoon. Gragson has won 8 races so far this season and looks to cap his Xfinity Series season and career off with a championship. And the Raiders continue on the road as well this weekend, taking a trip down to Duval County to face the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Raiders enter Sunday off the back of a tough 24-0 loss in New Orleans last week. But kickoff this Sunday is at 10 a.m., so stay tuned.
Health's been key. Everybody back. I think we're playing the way we want to play. Goaltending's been good. Defense has been good. We're getting some timely goals. I think our offense is still maybe a little bit behind as far as the rest, but once we can get the special teams and offense going, I think we'll take off even more.
And the VGK continue their road trip tonight in Canada's capital, to face off against the Ottawa Senators. The Golden Knights enter tonight on a 5-game win streak and Jack Eichel on a 3-game point streak. Puck drop comes at 4 p.m. And the UNLV Rebels take the trip to San Diego this weekend to face the Aztecs in more Mountain West play. The Rebels enter this one on a skid of their own, losing the last 3 games, but UNLV quarterback Doug Brumfield returned to practice this week after being out with an injury. However, no word yet if he will play this weekend. And the UNLV Lady Rebels opened up play last night at the Cox Pavilion against Chico University. This one was not that much of a game. The Lady Rebels led 38-8 after the first quarter and ran away with it. Alyssa Durazo-Frescas led the way for UNLV, dropping 21 points on 7 of 11 shooting. Final score 115-53.
Yeah, I think the coaches are harping on our pace. I think we settled a lot once the score kind of ran up, and we just need to keep pushing the tempo and keep our foot on the gas.
And as you heard just now, the Lady Rebels dominated their exhibition game last night against Chico State. But there are many challenges ahead for the Lady Rebels this season. We have their associate head coach, Roman Owen, here to talk about the game and the season ahead next.
Hi. Can I get the now bar, please?
No problem. $1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hi, can I get a now bar, please?
$1.
Thanks.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey, let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
You got it.
How's it going? Can I get a now bar?
Hey, stop right there! Get down on the ground out here, fire and get down! Over your head!
So as mentioned before, here in studio we have associate head coach for the Lady Rebels, Roman Owen, is with us today. Coach, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So in regards to the game yesterday, obviously it was a blowout. What do you take from a game like that? What did you see?
Most of these exhibitions, like for us, you want to have an opportunity to play well, which we did. You want to come out of it pretty healthy, which we were able to, and you want to get everybody some exposure on the floor, get them some time. And we got the whole roster at least 7-8 minutes all the way through our starters getting about 20. So, we wanted to improve in some areas. We were able to do that. We wanted to get some great film, which we're able to for some mistakes that we made, and improve on that by the time we get to Monday.
Yeah, and there was a lot of good movement between your bigs like Alyssa Brown and Wilfred as well. Like they were doing a lot of. Desi made a lot of great passes as well. Yeah. Was that kind of the plan for your offense yesterday?
Obviously, especially with Desi, we want to score inside. She's our anchor. That's kind of the identity of our team, is scoring the paint. And she kind of leads the charge of that. Her and Neka Obiizer. But all those bigs, they work really hard every day. Kiana coming into the game, AB coming into the game. They're able to get a lot of time, get some great reps. They did a good job of kind of playing together, high-low passes. Feeding each other and being able to capitalize once they got the opportunity. So really proud of them.
Yeah, and then a big storyline I think with the Lady Rebels this season is Coach LaRock, and obviously her absence and things of that nature. So what do you see being the biggest challenge once she does take her leave of absence?
I don't think we know. I think we're going to figure that out. More than anything, what she cares about, what we care about as a staff and our program, is the health and safety of our players. And so we're going to focus on that. I think our staff is really connected, and we kind of know what is expected from Coach Lindy, what she wants for us to accomplish. And so, we're going to take it one game at a time, one day at a time, and try to take care of our players and put them in the best position to be successful.
And then with the success of last season, right? How do you kind of keep the ladies grounded as far as, because when teams start winning, sometimes they will get kind of big-headed or whatnot. So how do you establish that with the team?
We had talked about this actually a couple days ago with the team, and with all the accolades that we had last season, it kind of the mind shifted from we are now the hunted versus being the hunter, and right. So you have to stay hungry every day. And so we really just kind of came back to the small things. We got to be great at the small things that we do and do them in a big way. And so right now it's kind of just staying focused on those things. We're talented enough to win a lot of games, but if we don't do the small things in a really big way, if we don't stay disciplined, then we're going to have some roadblocks. And really right now it's just trying to stay grounded and keep focused on those things.
Yeah, and then as far as success for the team this season, what does success mean? Does it mean winning a game in the NCAA tournament? Like what would constitute success for the team this season?
Right now it's win Monday. We want to beat Pepperdine. It's take one game at a time. Obviously we got goals as a team, and we know where we want to go in March, and we want to be right back to where we were. We want to be right there winning the Mountain West Conference Championship like we did last season. We want to be back in March playing in the NCAA tournament, and I think all those things are ahead of us. But you got to kind of stay focused on the process. You got to do it every day, one day at a time. Like I said, come back to all the things that we are focused on in terms of small things, being disciplined. And then March and all that will take care of itself once we get there and stuff. Obviously, like our kids know where we want to go, but right now it's one day at a time.
All right, awesome. Thank you for joining us here today, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here after the break.
Amanda's my queen. We lost her so young, but I'm blessed that I got to spend 30 years with her. It was New Year's Eve. Everything was fine. Sunday morning, she couldn't hardly breathe. At the ER, Amanda tested positive for COVID-19. That next morning, I called, and they said, we've moved your wife into ICU COVID. She's not doing very well. Doctor said, we have to put Amanda on a ventilator. They've induced a coma. I'm still calling every 4 hours, 28 days now in a row. I was never allowed in the hospital. COVID attacked her lungs, kidneys, liver, swelling in the brain, and she just never woke up. Decision was made on day 34. God promises eternal life, but we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We can argue whether the vaccine got here quick enough or didn't, but it was my duty to get vaccinated. Squeeze them and squeeze them hard. And when you get done, squeeze them one more time.
And now let's take a look at what's new in the world of entertainment.
The way of water connects all things.
And the trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water was released this week. This movie is set more than a decade after the events of the first film, and the live-action rendition is set to come out in December.
And when you're ready, come and get it. Selena Gomez's first documentary, My Mind and Me, the 30-year-old icon, released her single today to accompany the film's official release on Apple TV tomorrow. The documentary shares Selena's intimate details of learning to accept, embrace, and love herself. She is also offering her fans a 2-month free trial on Apple TV Plus that can be accessed through a link on her Twitter.
And new music this Friday. On Thursday, Drake and 21 Savage team up to release their joint album, Her Loss, and it will be released on all music platforms tonight at 9. And as you can see here, we have a live shot of the traffic going to Prim. If you win the Powerball, you can afford a Caesars room for the F1 race next year. I got to tell you, Chris, a $1.5 billion Powerball jackpot. I'm not sure what I would do if I ended up winning, because I might just have a heart attack and die the second I find out that I actually won. I don't know if I'd be able to enjoy any of this, because $1.5 billion, I mean, that's more than I can even conceive of, you know.
Yeah, what would you even do with that? I don't know, maybe just go on vacation, go to a couple of sporting events. I don't know, I'd like do everything.
I mean, you could do everything, I guess, except buy Twitter, because that's $40 billion, but.
Yeah, for sure, but yeah, that type of money. Can I just say as well, 21 Savage and Drake's album, I cannot wait for that as well. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, then you have to tell us about it when we come back on Tuesday.
Yeah, for sure. I'll give you a full review of the album, that's for sure.
You heard it here first.
Two of my favorite artists, yeah.
Christopher Clark's album review of 21 Savage and Future coming up next week.
Well, I won't.
I can't wait for it.
I won't even be an anchor for the show.
Doesn't matter. We'll make a package about it.
Yeah. I'll make an entire package about it.
The people need to know about this. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us this week. We really appreciate you tuning in. Catch you next Tuesday.
Thank you.